Hey guys, this is Nique and Ress, and this is She Wolf Alchemy. The episode that we're going to be talking about and discussing today is he actually a good man or is he just better than your ex?
Yeah. So, just like Neek said, we're going to unpack why your love life is not cursed, but we just simply keep dating someone slightly better than the last toxic one and calling it healing and wondering why it still does not feel that great. So, today's episode might bruise a couple of egos, including mine. That's fine. But it's one we need to hear. Is he actually a good man? Or he's just better than the last dude who ran your self-esteem through a cheese grater. So I don't think I'm allowed to say the real reason why we came up with this particular episode. Um, I would have to cut it out the episode, so it doesn't even matter. I'm not even gonna go into that. But there is kind of a thing. I think a lot of women have probably at some point in time went through it. And if not you, you've had a girlfriend go through it where like you looking at this man and you're like, girl, what? And they be like, because he opened doors. Yeah. Yeah, that's regular. Like that's not like, oh, he's so special. Why? He remembers my birthday. Yeah. Yeah, you should remember your partners. I don't we why are we celebrating just such small, insignificant things? But I think when you have a history of like just really being drugged through or not being treated how you want to be treated or should be treated. And sometimes you can have a good, I have actually seen this happen. When you come through something so exhausting, sometimes it just feels like anything better than that will do for right now. Because I put up with that long. So if I can put up with that and you doing this slightly less toxic thing, okay, I'm gonna count that joy. Have you
I
had any
don't know.
experience with this?
Yeah. I think when I was younger,
Hmm.
I mean, you've seen my crazy relationship that I did have, but before
Yeah.
that one and after that one, when I was younger, I had I don't know how he got in the mix. I don't
I
know.
don't either. But we all got that one. We all got that
Yes,
one
we
that like
do.
does
We
not
do
make sense.
at all. Because I remember when I was younger, the normal and above was my normal for
Right.
everybody. So it was just like when guys would be like, well, I remember a guy was like, well, it was in the middle of the night and I went to go get some ice cream for you. You should be happy. And I was like, that's bare minimal. Like I looked at him like that's bare minimal. What do
Yeah.
you mean? Like that doesn't make me like you. I rubbed your feet. So this no, like that
Hmm.
doesn't change a thing. Like that's bare minimal. But then I feel like as I got older, I feel like I settled for more stuff now than I would have never settled for as younger Nick. Now it's
Yeah.
just, and I don't know. I guess I don't know. I think everybody's like going through that stage now at an older age, maybe because we are older and we haven't
Yeah.
settled down yet. I'm like, I catch myself like, girl, that is nothing. Like that's what should have already been going on. And I be
Yeah.
trying to work back to get to that point.
Yeah.
Of like setting the standard higher for myself. But I have noticed that now I accept, I'm not even gonna lie, I do accept some things that I would never have accepted as a young college Nique. Like, what?
Yeah.
No. Or even a guy had brought me flowers one time, like, I bought the top notch flowers. I'm like, bruh, somebody came to my first date with 2 dozen of these. Like, don't like you can't like that's not going to get that cannot be it. That cannot be it. And then it makes you think like, what are these guys doing for women out here? No offense, because
Right.
like if you think that you're putting on the best everything, what are you giving to these other women? If I'm just like, that's okay, that's nice, but
Yeah.
that's okay. So
I
it is
mean,
something to think about.
there's a whole bunch of things to unpack in your statement. I think
Yeah.
it is normal. I am seeing an increase of that, like of women getting to a certain point and just being like, I just want to be done dating. And so kind of settling.
Mm,
And sometimes it's them settling for like, okay, he remembers your birthday and like he calls consistently, but like that man talks to you real disrespectfully. He rolls his eyes every time you walk in a room. And matter of fact, that's another one that I've started to see on the rise. And I really believe it's because you get to a point where you're tired and you're like, I expected myself to be done. I expected to be done with dating by this age. And I think it just feels easier to settle because it's like, well, this will do. And on the flip side of that, I've also seen it, and then I'm big on this, ladies. And you know what I'm about to go into, but like, you deserve to be with somebody who looks at you like you are made out of the stars in the moon. You deserve to be with somebody that like gets excited when you call. You deserve to be with somebody that you did not have to convince to marry you. And I am bringing it up because I have seen a growing increase of this, of like just seeing some of my ladies in relationships, and you like, I don't think that man really like you. Or like you can tell, like, girl, like it's been 4 years, and you like have to do an ultimatum to get this man to marry you. You know, or like I get, look, and I'm not saying, because I get it, I definitely get just being like, I want to be done. I'm tired. But like, and I think both me and you have had moments of that, of just being like, I'm done. It's fine. He fine as hell. He, he does the stuff. I think I'm just settle here. But also, we both have almost immediately after been like, no, I can't. Like immediately after, like, now I hate the way he chews. Like, just start resenting them.
And that's
Because I know that's not what I want.
Sorry, that's the part that I try to prevent, because once I get to the resenting stage, I'm mean. And that would be looking at me scary and crazy, because I get to be like cutthroat, and I don't want to get to that point. And it's not even their fault. It's more so me resenting my own decisions. Like, how did we get here? And why are you still allowing this? So now it's just me for no reason. And then I had to catch myself like, cause you don't really like him, sis. You don't. Like you can see that a lot with men doing that and resenting a woman. But I have done it too. And but just like when you shouldn't, like I should know, like, let's just leave it here instead of like taking on other stuff just to be complacent. Like, he will do. And really, in all honesty, he will not do.
At
No, he will
all.
not.
At all. Man, this has been a topic I've had to talk about a lot lately. I can't get into why, but it's something that has been presented to me just a lot in the last like 2 years. I keep having to do this. Do not convince yourself like, well, he must like me because he made me his girlfriend, because he proposed to me, because he engaged me. Take it from someone who has to talk to these men day in, day out. These men will propose to you and be dragging their feet and just be like, I guess it's been this long. I might as well. These men will marry you, fully marry you, and go pay somebody $120 an hour to go talk about his ex, the woman he actually wanted to marry. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because I think there's like this idea of like, well, he would just leave. And that's such a female mindset. They do not think like a lot of them do not think like that. And I think it doesn't make sense to us, because it's like, well, I know he loves her. I know he has to try, because why are we still doing this? And it's like, girl, for various reasons. And I'm bringing it up to say, like, because when you have somebody doing bare minimum, unless they're just a bottom of the barrel dude, there's some women out there that he went above and beyond for. And you're settling in these things that are also kind of letting you know that he can low-key feel like this is his settlement too.
Yeah.
And y'all both deserve better.
For sure. For sure. Because even when I have found myself feel like I'm resenting this person, or I'm settling, I be thinking in my head, like, it's just time to let them go for my sake and theirs, because it's not fair for me or it's not fair for them. How do we feel like sometimes, I'm not trying to be the big bad man hater, but sometimes I just feel like they don't. They just like it's still comfortable for them. And for real, most of the time I feel like the woman leaves before the man ever does. I think they just get comfortable and stay there. And I talked to a man and he told me that before.
I will tell you, it's not even that. These men will purposely like just do stuff to get you to break up with them. Like they will literally like, I don't want to be the bad guy. So maybe if I leave my phone out, she go through it. Like maybe if I like forget her birthday, Or maybe if I come home at like 4 a.m. and immediately go to the shop, like they will purposely start doing stuff to make
Mm-hmm.
you break up with them.
Mm-hmm.
And you sitting there holding on, like, well, because he's still here and he's still trying, so I want to try too. He is not trying. That is not
No,
for all. That is not for all.
it's not. It's not.
But that is definitely a thing. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
that is definitely a thing. But no, I agree. Like I was thinking about the time I feel like I definitely did that, where like, and I was like, how did you go there? Because it was somebody I had dated previously. Like me and him had dated like 5 years before. And I gave it another chance because one, we didn't end on bad terms. And it was always just very light and casual. Like at that time, I was like, oh, he a pretty boy. He ain't so bad. He a pretty boy in Atlanta with money. Nah, I'm not about to take this serious. This feels stupid to take that serious.
Mm-hmm.
And then so like when we reconnected from jump, I mean, and you can attest to this, like every time something happened between us, I was like, it feels off. Like, I don't think I should. And I like questioned the whole thing. And I looked back and I was like, why did you? Because you knew from jump. Because the young was dating quote unquote casually, like you would have failed by then. I was like, and you didn't fall at all. You didn't fall in love at all. And then even the second time where he was very, very, very intentional, I was like, we're doing all these things and I'm having so much fun with him. And I am like really enjoying his company. Like I'm really loving doing mundane things with him. You know, things like cleaning up together, just really like everyday things that you don't think of as like, oh, this is bonding time. And I would have so much fun with this man doing this. But I think the thing for me in that particular situation was that like I had just came out of a long time of being single and I was just like just dipping my toes back in. And so it was just kind of like, and then also I went through this whole like, I'm healing. So this means I give more chances. And this means is that my avoidant attachment stuff? And also I went through it. He was very romantic. And I think that also blinded me. But it was like, yeah, but like also you've been single for a while. And it's like, yeah, attention. And it was like like he never met my child, but he knew I was a mother. And so like when he also had a daughter, and when he was just like, oh, I'm at the store, you know, getting my baby girl some shoes. What size your daughter wear? Yeah, I'm gonna just go ahead and get her one. Tell me her size. Things like that. That were like really cute and really sweet. But like also it was like a lot of emotional stuff that I just knew like you throw a temper tantrum and like expect me to be the person to like call you make me be a therapist off the clock type of things. And so like I had to look back and be like, I mean, yeah, he was really sweet and he did this thing, he did that thing, but it's like, yeah, but you've always dated romantic men. Like you've always dated men who go out their way. You've always dated the type of men that are like, what's your favorite type of wine? And then just start keeping that at the house for you. Like you've always dated that. And so it was like, I had to have a moment of realization where I was like, girl, I think it's just because you came out of a drought and it was there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that could definitely be a thing because the first person that I dated after I was in a horrible relationship was a grand gesture man too. So it was just
Yeah.
like I think I like him, but something in me was like, but you don't. And I kept on saying that. I kept on saying that something
Yep.
is saying that you don't. But it was
Yeah.
just like, but this is so refreshing. And it was like I was having like you, I was having the time of my life, but it still was something within me like, but are you really? So it's
Yeah.
just like you have to listen to that still. Like I'm not saying you shouldn't be with a great guy because these guys are great guys
Mhm.
in their own respect. But if it
Mhm.
just did not match you, or you're just trying to force it to be in the box because it's so much different than the last one, you just can't compare it to that one because that was trash anyway. Or maybe you just was by yourself for a long time. And you're like, well,
Mhm.
I'm getting my needs met. It could be
Mhm.
anything like physical, mental, emotional, financial, anything. It's like, I'm not doing it alone anymore. So this is
Yeah.
something I think that's what we do too a lot as women, not want to be alone too. And that's
Yeah.
another reason. But yeah.
Oh, I agree. Putting up with stuff because it's just like it's better than nothing.
Yes.
And
Yes.
like even with you, I think this happened. If we're talking, I think I know who you're talking about. But I think even with both of us, like it was one of those like, oh yeah, like I'm having fun, and and he's doing more. And for me, it was just I had been single for so long, so it's like, oh, someone's doing stuff again. This was fun. Um, I think with both of them, like once they started being like real serious, that's when we were like, oh wait,
Hmm.
you why are we talking marriage? What you mean? Why are we talking? Why are you asking me about
Starting
how?
overwhelming. It's starting a little overwhelming.
Because then I had to really examine because I'm like, oh, this man want to spend his life with me.
Yeah.
And then you start thinking about like, do I want, yes, they're great in other aspects, but then it's like, okay, but do I really want to blank, blank, blank? I know for
Mm.
me, one of the questions I had to ask myself was like, I mean, he opens the door and like as if he's at the store and he sees something that he knows you like, he'll just pick it up and get it for you because he knows you like it, it'll make you happy. But like also, but also like that's the average thing that for me people do when they love. I do that. I do that for friends.
Mhm.
I did that for a coworker recently. Like, is that like was that really a reason to like convince myself to give 30 years to this man?
Yeah. And I think like, yeah, because even just being with somebody who actually was willing to make the effort that the last person didn't. And I think
Yeah.
I was so focused on like, well, I was there fast because I'm like,
Hmm.
I always wanted this guy to make these types of efforts, and he never did. And this guy made it within a month. And I was
Yeah.
dating him for how long? So it was just like, well, maybe this is. And I started questioning anybody else like me because I'm going like beforehand, this one a Nique. But this
Hmm.
Nique that has dealt with all this crap, it's
Yeah.
like, well, this is a miracle. But it was just like, on the other hand, it's just like, but he had a lot of quirks and a lot of things that I didn't really like. But it was just like, he's such a wonderful guy. I gotta like it. But then it's just like, God, universe, whatever, will always make it clear.
Yeah.
Like, and luckily he was honest because he could have just been going with the flow too, and he wasn't feeling it. Whatever it is. I'm glad that he
Yeah.
said what he said, and I said what I said, and we parted ways. But like for a minute, I probably would have tried to force the
Hmm.
narrative. I'm pretty sure
Hmm.
I would have.
Oh, but something you said that I think is really, really important to point out, and I love that you brought this up, is that you got to be really, really careful about having somebody who like maybe who just wouldn't do the thing. He just wouldn't do the thing, whatever it was, and then meeting the next person and they immediately do that thing. Because sometimes we get that and we correlate it with like, yeah, I gotta make this happen. Because look at him. He's doing all this stuff. His ass, I had to beg his ass to do it. And he didn't even do it right, didn't put in effort. You have to be careful with this because, and this is for men and women, sometimes a person is just a good person. It does not mean
Mm-hmm.
they're your person.
Mm-hmm.
And I think even while we're talking on this subject, I just kind of want to fuse those two things together because I know, and I hear guys, I hear y'all, yeah, our 4% of listeners all the time being like, women don't like good men. Da, da, da. Because you're a good man, that doesn't mean you're entitled to any woman you want to love. And the same thing with women. Just because you're a good woman doesn't mean you're entitled to someone's love. And I think sometimes we get caught up in that because we're like, but I did this, and I did that, and I have this and this and that. And why doesn't he? And okay, but sometimes you're just not their person.
Yeah.
And I think you can definitely, especially if you just came from a relationship where, like, again, they just would not do the thing, whatever it is. They wouldn't commit. They didn't want to do marriage. They didn't want to learn proper communication skills. And then you finally leave or they leave and you meet this person that's doing it automatically. That's like, I want you to meet my mama. It is month 3. That's like, I want you to be my girl. It is week 6. And it's like, hey, he doing his clip. He's talking legit. And it's real easy to get caught up in that.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
then next thing you know, you like 5 years in and you're like, I don't really like, you're like, dang, I guess we're gonna get married because like I don't wasted all this time. I wasted their time. Hey, yeah, I don't think this is my person. Hey, well, I guess this is what we're gonna do. And I know that sounds silly, but the amount of times that actually happens in real life,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
shockingly scary.
Yes. I agree.
Because like here's the thing, going back to like the general topic of this, sometimes we call growth in dating what is really just choosing a man who isn't actively traumatizing us. Like I'm growing. And if you used to choose very traumatizing man, yeah, technically that's growth, but that ain't it. That's not where you should settle. Where is the bar? Is the bar, oh, he don't yell at me? Is the bar, he does not cheat yet? Is the bar like, okay, but he don't call me out my name? Like, really examine what your bar is and then really think about your list of like, this is what I want in a person. Am I just accepting the bare minimum? And men, this is for y'all as well.
I think, yeah, it could be like I hear that all the time, like in movies or friends on Friends,
Mhm.
like at least he doesn't put his hands on me. That is
Yeah.
not enough. Or the man saying at least he doesn't belittle me like my mom used to
Mhm.
belittle my dad. That does not mean they're going.
Mhm.
It doesn't, and we can't like. Well, they're not doing that, so we're good. And I
Yeah.
see that a lot. I see that a lot.
Oh yeah, definitely for sure. And it's like there's just some things where it's like, sis, that is basic human beings
Mm-hmm.
decency. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's not necessarily husband material or wife material.
No.
That is like the baseline of being a normal human being.
Yes. Mm-hmm. I agree.
So going back to what you kind of start in, like let's talk about the better than before illusion. And you brought this up, which is a very good point. Like, is trauma where our bar starts at?
Mhm.
Like when you've been through chaos, the moment you meet someone who, like, again, doesn't raise your voice, who pays for dinner, who listens when you talk, it can feel like if you have your love associated so heavily with trauma, your brain will light up when someone is doing those little things.
Mm-hmm.
You are, thinking of like planning a wedding off of bare minimal empathy. And this looks like, suddenly a man who texts us back means he's a good communicator, or a man who
Mm-hmm.
says, like, I don't really do titles, but like, I really vibe with you, is emotionally intelligent. When your bar is trauma, these very basic things all of a sudden can start looking like gold. I remember one time I had somebody in my life who was dating this horrible person. Was dating this absolutely horrible person. I just had a conversation with them where I was just like, yo, what are we doing here? And they were like, you know what? But like, he don't be spending all my money. He comes home at night. And it's like, yeah, y'all live together. You should. You should come home at night because y'all agreed to live together. He don't spend your money. And this is whatever, however you feel. But it's like, yeah, I personally believe, like, yeah, no, that also should be a part of your dating experience, is that they do not use you for money.
Yeah.
So, while you out here dating, ask yourself, is what this person doing so amazing? Or is it just that they're not your ex and they do just a little bit more? And you are confusing that with him being some amazing, great partner, when the truth of the matter is the stuff that he's doing is not intentional. It's not showing effort. It is, again, that bare minimum.
Mhm. So let's actually talk about what a good man actually looks like. So a good man is not someone who is simply doesn't hurt you. It is someone who helps you feel seen, someone who helps you feel safe, someone who helps you grow. That's your safe place to land. That's what a good man, quote unquote, actually should mean. So here's what you look for. Some of the things you can look for is consistency without confusion. He says what he means and he follows through. That is a good one.
Yeah.
That is hard to
Hey,
find.
real quickly though,
Yes.
this has been a conversation.
Yes.
A big thing with this is like, okay, he says he's going to take you to the park. He says he's going to do all this stuff. Okay, says, was there ever follow through? Was there
Yes.
ever follow through?
Yes.
And this is even like a hated moment. I think, especially when we were younger, all of us have fallen for this before. Of like, oh,
Mhm.
he said go give me flowers. And he said, he gonna go see that lady, whatever it is. And then like there's some point like you are saying, like, well, he said, and you're like, damn, that was 6 months ago. I don't even think that man tried. Hold on, wait a minute. It's been 2 years. Girls, please don't let it get to 2 years. 2 years of like him telling me he gonna see that lady. And he's not seen that lady.
Another thing to look for is self accountability. He owns his stuff. He apologizes without manipulation or
Yeah.
pettiness. You're
Yeah.
ready this and not trying to teach you a freaking lesson. But anyway.
And can I say with this, a part also like on top of accountability and like him owning up to his stuff and not manipulating, I also want to throw in there like someone who can give you space and does not make everything about them. This is that like every time you're like, yeah, I have a problem, I'm depressed. No, I hear you, babe. But I be depressed too. I've been depressed. My mama never loved me. Da, da, da. And you came in there with like your problem and you're like, hey, you're my soft place. And next thing you know, it's all about him again.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And they really don't give you space for you to be able to be soft. And it just kind of puts you into that, yeah, he's not being toxic. Yeah, he's not actively hurting you, but like he's also not providing you any emotional safety.
Yeah.
And that can be a part of that manipulation.
Mhm. And then that can create a lot of resentment as well.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
And I think like maybe not with you. I'm gonna say with us, we are both givers. But I
Mhm.
think for me, sometimes I feel fueled by helping others for some reason.
Mhm.
And it's just like, but wait, what am I don't understand. I'm not getting nothing out of it. So it's like deep in the mud of it.
I mean,
So
me and you have talked about this before. I ain't gonna go through all of our traumas, but
yeah.
both of us kind of grew up in households where it felt like we were shown grace and love by performing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
think that's it. So
Nothing.
when that's a very big part of your foundation, that,
Mm-hmm.
it's hard. It can be really, really hard. But,
Mm-hmm.
that you feel like that's how I love people. I only know how to love people by acts of service, by doing for people, by
Mm-hmm.
being a caretaker, by being a provider. And sometimes when you are so heavy in that role, not only do you keep getting in situations where it's exhausting and you are the one doing all the emotional heavy lifting and stuff, but like also sometimes it makes it hard for you to learn how to really receive. And so you stay with these people who don't really give, because when you give somebody who receive, it activates your fight or flight. And now you're looking for a reason to be like, nah, let me run.
Mm-hmm. For sure. Because I too personally be like, this is a lot. It's overwhelming me. I don't know how to accept it. I be trying to be all like receiving, but I be like, my tingling is like, what is
Girl, do
like
you
a cartoon
remember?
where your hair blows with like the fire comes out of your hand like a cartoon because you just don't
Yeah.
know what to do.
Oh God. Me and Gabby were talking about this recently because I was like explaining something to her. She was like, okay. So she was like trying to summarize it back to me. She's like, so what I get from what you just said is that you meet them and then you make them fall for you. And then you be like, no, no, thank you. I was like, 20-year-old Ress was doing that. 20-year-old Ress was doing that. 30-year-old
Yeah.
Ress is soft and she fucking hates it. So she be communicating and giving grace. And I haven't been enjoying the experience, but still doing it. Don't y'all still do it. It's great. It's gonna pay off, whatever. But like, yeah.
But to be honest, sometimes I'm scared of what comes to the other side. You know what I mean?
Oh
Like the
yeah.
seriousness of it. I'm like,
You
get
know who I'm
serious.
rooting for. You know who I want to be my brother-in-law. And
I
you
know.
stay doing this to this man.
I know.
Hearted man
You
who
be
can't
getting
trust.
so scary. I was like, you doing what now? Okay.
Every time you call me like, girl, but I'm just not gonna take it serious. Like, let my brother-in-law love you. He's such a good man. I love him so much for you. Please just let this thing work.
I'm trying. Okay.
Yeah.
Anywho.
Yeah, you know who team I'm on. I'm always
I
team him.
know. I know. I know. I know. Another one is that he respects your boundaries, not just tolerates them, but actually respects them. And this is a big one because I have been with somebody who does respect them, and I was like, oh wait, they really respect them, and others who just fake respect them to not
Yeah.
be into them anymore.
And with that fake respect, I think it's important to recognize, because again, sometimes like it can be, again, I've said this almost every episode, I'm a person who needs a lot of alone time. Like I definitely socialize, but I need alone time to recharge. And I love being alone. It's like it's like top 3 things. And I know I dated someone who like I had to explain to them, I had to set a boundary like, hey, sometimes I just need to be alone. Sometimes I just need to be left alone. Sometimes like I don't have the emotional space. Give me a day. And But because they were so persistent and they were so like, I miss you though. And they would come over, and bring like my favorite food or my favorite snack. And like it got to the point that like when I ended up, me and Nique were talking about like, oh, do you think he gonna show up? Because he always just shows up even when you tell him not to. And I think sometimes you can confuse that because it's like, but he's doing these romantic things. It's still crossing your boundary. And again, that's something I struggle with that particular person. Because again, when they were crossing my boundary, it was really sweet things like that. It was me being like, hey, I'm exhausted. I need space. Or one time we got into it and I was like, you know what? Give me time to process. Like, just give me the night to process because I don't trust the words that are going to come out my mouth if you try to talk to me about this right now. Let me process and then I will get back to you. And they ended up blowing up my phone like 4 hours. They came to my house calling me and like just stuff that, again, like in one way you can be like, oh girl, that's romantic. But it's like, no, also this is somebody like, yeah, one of the biggest issues that we had was that they emotionally exhausted me. They really needed me to be their therapist way more than they needed me to be their girlfriend. And so I constantly had to have these boundaries around like, hey, how about this? You ask me if I have the space to hold this conversation that you want to have. Because I just saw 9 clients today and I had to hold space for them and be a safe place for them and help them process that. I'm just coming home. I don't want to come home today. Give me some space. And they couldn't. They literally couldn't. And because they were doing all this like romantic stuff to cross my boundaries, it took me a little bit of a minute to recognize like, hey, yeah, he got you flowers. He still crossed your boundary. I don't care. We had to have a conversation where I was like, I get it. You're out at the club and you're having a lot of fun and you miss me. Do not call me trying to wake me up at 4 a.m. I have work in the morning. I have a child. My daughter's here. Like, no, I get it. You miss me so much. You're thinking about me. You're at the club and you want to send me something romantic. It's 4 a.m. Call me during business hours.
Because still manipulation in some sorts. Like it's still emotionally dumping and you're not getting your way. And so it's not really respecting the boundary at all. I don't even know what the boundary means at that point. Like, yeah. So
yeah. And then also that guilting, because they definitely guilted me after that. Like, oh, okay. It's just, I'm just trying to show my appreciation. Maybe this is why I just apparently just not my lover boy. I just be doing too much. And again, especially if you had like a bad relationship, or again, for me, my thing was I had stopped dating for like a good period, like a good 2 years. I had purposely stopped doing it. I had purposely like, hey, I need to just focus on myself. I need to heal a couple of things on my own. And so when I'm hearing that, I'm like, dang, he is right. Cause like, how many girls got to do who's at the club and just want to FaceTime them the whole time? And so I was like convincing myself, like, no, that's you. You need to work. You need to give more grace because he's doing all these things that are so cute and romantic. But I was like, no, you don't like that. Like, you like boundaries. You need space in relationships, and this person is refusing to give you that. And they are making you feel guilty about you being honest with them about what your needs are while violating your needs.
Exactly. Yeah.
So be aware of that too. Because on the flip side, sometimes it's these cute things, but it's like it's still a violation. A violation is a violation.
And remember that part. Yeah. Because like we are just talking about, another one is being emotionally present. Now, he doesn't just like listen, he tracks you. He understands your emotional patterns and he tends to them. And like I was saying before, like me and you, we already do that off a jump. So to have somebody that does it back, it would be a wonderful thing if we allow it to happen. but yes, that is.
If Daddy Saturn decides that he loves me and is going to allow it to happen, that would be great. That would be amazing.
Yes. Sure. Another one is aligned values. He's not just nice, he's going in the same direction emotionally, spiritually, and relationally. Yeah. I think this is a good one too. Just being aligned with values and just like, because the relationship that stands out to me the most is my late fiance. Because we were aligned in the fact that, okay, we both want to get married. We both was kind of raised the same way. We both were same when it came to spirituality and all that. So we had a lot in common. So it was like easier for him to understand where I was coming from, easier for him to understand where he was coming from. It wasn't like, I'm like, but can you be with me? But can you be with me? Can you marry me? Here, and we both wanted that ending goal.
Yeah.
And it just makes things so much more beautiful, so much more easier. And to have that is better than begging and all that. Because I've been on both ends of it. And it's way better just to be aligned, your values to align. And when they don't, it's hard to just say bye. But for real, to know that you can find somebody that is aligned with you is so much better.
Yeah.
So.
And like again, on the flip side of that, like I have definitely seen it happen before where people aren't aligned, but it's like, okay, but he's a good man. And so it's like you convince yourself out of, we had a whole episode on this, Owen, taking the dream over the guy, where it's like, you know, there's a lot of women who are like, I will give him my career. I will do the because I just want you to love me. And it's like, girl, there will be other men. Go do your job. Go do what God, the universe, or the aliens in the sea called you to do in this lifetime. Please stop getting wrapped up. And I've seen that happen a lot of times. I've seen that, like, one thing I really, I think when I was younger, I didn't get it, but I really loved that you stood in was like, for you, you wanted a child. You wanted another child. That was a big thing. And you have people who you met, who you really vibe with, who are really great, but like, you knew you wanted a child and they did it. And you're like, that is, I don't care how much I love him. I don't want to miss out on that for them. And this is big when it comes to being in line, because sometimes you'll meet a person and they'll be great and you guys get along and you jam really good, but y'all want different things for y'all life. And somebody don't want to compromise. And so it puts you in this position like, well, if I want to be with them, I guess I don't have to have kids. And like, I guess I can move to the middle of Arizona where there ain't no Black people and I don't want to be here, but his family's there. I mean, I guess that's fine. And they don't really have my industry over there. So I guess I could just, work a job I hate to just help pay the bills. Have y'all values aligned so you aren't having to make life decisions that alter your path just to be with them. And I know that's not the romantic version. I know Disney has told us, they'll alter your path. It's worth it. They live happily ever after. I have seen that's not reality.
It's not, because you just can't force it. And when I did leave, when that person wasn't ready, it definitely hurt me. It definitely hurt me to my core. But it was just like, but I think I would have resentment towards him, no matter how much I did love him. I think it would be some type of resentment. So it was just like, I just can't. And I love that about me before, which I'm trying to gain, like get back to that part, get back to that space or better. Cause I was really like, this is what I want. And this is, and if it's not, cause some things you can lean, like I can lean in, but like those core, like children is a thing that you either want or you don't. And you can't force that either way half the time. And so I was happy that I stood on that. I got that with my late fiance, but but you just have.
That was also you standing on business.
It was. God rest his soul. He was still here. We would have to say right now. But yeah, it's just like. And I still don't really regret that. And I'm still single, but I don't regret it. So that is something to think about too.
Yeah. And the last one I want to throw in there is like, because this is what I hear like all the time, like, okay, you were with your ex was a liar. You didn't trust him for nothing. And it's like, okay, he does not technically lie, but he omits important truths. He omits important parts of the conversation or what happened. Oh, and then he calls it privacy. And if you trust me, and it's like, again, if you're used to someone who's just a straight up liar, like if he tell you the sky is blue, you still got to go out and check because that's how much he lied. You can convince yourself. There can be a lot of convincing with this. You can convince yourself like, I mean, he technically did tell me that he was going to the club. He didn't tell me it was a strip club, but he did tell me it was a club. And, that's on me for not really asking because he did. You can start sliding your way into that. And that's just lying by another name to me.
I think also another thing, it was like, because you didn't ask, because going back to that, like lying with a mission or whatever,
Mhm.
it's because you didn't ask me, so they just don't tell you. Nigga, but you knew, sir. But you knew that was
Yeah.
something you needed to say. Because I
Yeah.
heard that one a lot. You didn't ask, so do I have to ask every single thing? You're still lying. That's still a liar.
Well, oh me, I didn't ask questions. I've investigated. And I came with random statements like, you want to fill in the blank? Because then you ask me how I know, then you gotta admit that you know this thing. Now we gonna both sit here and be awkward. Um, but don't do that. I don't do that no more. I
So,
miss it. I miss it. Oh, it was fun times, but don't do that no more. I'm healed. Gosh, I don't know. Maybe keep that one in your back pocket. But anyways, we can get so hypnotized by someone being less cruel that we forget to ask the important questions. Are they capable of intimacy? Are they capable of partnership? Are they capable of not just loving me, but loving me well? So let's talk about what can be the possible signs that you're falling for someone who is just like better than before, trap. I think is really good to keep in mind is like, do you find yourself saying, well, at least he didn't blank, blank, blank. So instead of it being like positive of like, he's doing this and it's great, it's more, at least he's not doing that. All of the things that are good about it is more so on the side of what he's not doing versus what he is doing for you. And another one is like, also, if your homegirls aren't convinced, but you feel the need to constantly defend him, if more than one of your homegirls is like, I mean, I know you say you in love, but like, girl, I don't know. I don't know. I've seen you in love. I don't think this is love. And like, check in that, especially if these are the people who know you well. Because sometimes, again, we're so caught up in I'm just trying to be a single struggle. Sometimes we're just so caught up in well, again, he's a good guy. He's a good man. That we have a lot of blind spots that the people who love us are like, girl, no, this is gonna be a problem. Let's re-examine it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm laughing because you was like,
do you have anything to say on that, me?
I know. Maybe you should listen sometimes to your friends. No, because I remember one time you was like, "Do you really even like him? Like,
Girl,
what don't you like about this person? Because I see nothing."
I was baffled and surprised when you told me I love him. I was like, I don't buy that. I'm not sure you like this man.
Because the thing is, like, our friends, I don't think can say that, but the thing is, you can, because you see me on so many different levels,
Yeah.
in so many different situations. So you know what it means and what it doesn't mean, and I needed to honor that.
No. That's a real thing. That is a real thing. I told y'all I'm gonna stop hiding them. I'm gonna stop hiding these names and getting them nicknames so y'all can meet them. So then I'll be on that side and I'll get to experience it. And so maybe y'all do that to me and maybe I will listen. You be like, Ress, see, this is what's happening for.
Yes.
I gotta stop hiding them first.
That is the thing, because you hide them. And me, I'm so like, meet him. Meet him. So just like you see it. Or I'm so open about it, what I'm going through at that moment. So
yeah, you know me. I like talking in code.
Exactly. And I just sit there like, okay, she'll tell me when she's ready. And then when it finally come out, I was like, oh, that's what she was talking about that one time. I'll just keep like, oh, that's what she's talking about. Okay.
For sure. And then like another one could be like, you are afraid to ask for more because he's already so much better than what you're used to. Why spoil a good thing? Like, this is not, you wanted something different or you want more, but it's like, I don't want to rock the boat. At least I'm getting this. To me, that's a sign you're falling into that trap. Or like you are just overly grateful to be treated with decency. This is that, oh my gosh, you remember my birthday? You got me some remember my birthday? Y'all been together for 3 years. Y'all have 2 children. Yes, he's supposed to remember your birthday. And that's not gratitude. That is trauma flavored settling.
I like how that was said. Okay, so let's try to raise the bar without raising hell. Let's talk about how we can break the spell and raise your standards without apology. So one way we can do that is to stop comparing new partners to your worst case. Start comparing them to your best self. or
Mm.
things that you truly want. Like,
Mhm.
he is doing that. Not
Mhm.
he's doing that better than him. Like he is.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
being okay with it and not pushing it.
I
Yeah.
agree.
Or get specific with what you want. Not just a good man, but a safe space, a deep listener, a teammate in growth, a man who knows your worth, even when you're soft and messy.
And I get it. I definitely don't believe in falling around with a checklist because I think you can
Mm-hmm.
get that. And again, you know this. I once fell for somebody who was really, really great on paper. The reality of them wasn't that great, but they had all the stuff on the checklist. It did not mesh together well in
Yeah.
reality. And
Yeah.
so I'm not, it's not to say like follow around with a checklist, but this is why I think it's so important for you before you go back out there dating, really ask yourself, what do I really want? So
Mm-hmm.
when things start feeling off and things start feeling weird, you can go back and be like, no, when I was in my right state of mind, before I was even messing with them, I said, this is what I want. And then I told him this is what I want, and he's not doing these things. They're not, he's making me compromise on things that I don't really want to compromise on. It's so easy to, when you don't know what you want, to end up in a situation that is so far removed from all that you thought you would get.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And we also need to not let loneliness pick your standards. Being alone and peaceful is better than being partnered and anxious. And I definitely agree. Because
Mm,
sometimes I know we both were going through this when we were in situations we know we didn't have this being in. And
yeah.
sometimes I would be like, bruh, I just wish I was left alone. Like
Well,
I don't have to deal with emotions. I don't have to deal with like left alone to be
yeah,
just worried about my child and not
yeah,
having to deal with this. Like it is definitely like you said, you like your alone time. And you were saying that person was still popping up and doing that. That is second you would have been better off just chilling and having a chill night.
yeah,
And so would I. So that is, yeah. Like once you think about it, when you're in it, I think when you're in those situations, I don't think you think about it as much. But then when you finally get out, it is like a boost effect. It's like, ooh,
yeah. It
for
is.
me, I miss it. I miss like the
Girl,
yeah.
the therapist I was working with my whole 20s was him trying to get me out of the phase of like, I feel so much better when I'm single that I don't like the person I am when I'm with people, when I'm with
Mm-hmm,
somebody.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And so it's like recognizing, like, okay, does this feel like peace? Because if being with you, and you know what, actually ask yourself that, do I like the person I am when I'm with this person? Does this
Yeah.
person make me mean? Does this person make me emotionally exhausted? Does this person make me feel anxious because I don't never know what they stupid ass about to do?
Mm-hmm.
Do I like the person I am when I'm with them? And if we don't really like the person we are when we're with that person, then it's better to be alone.
It definitely is. It definitely is. Or if they bring out the absolute worst, or in you, it's better to be alone.
Yeah. But I just want to throw in there for my avoidance. Hey y'all, team avoidant. With you guys though, you have to put in a caveat of like also, but check in with yourself. If you just have a problem being with people, if being vulnerable makes you not like how you feel, that is more of a you problem than a them problem. That's something you're gonna work on. That's gonna come even when you get that great person. So, you know you avoid it. Go work on it. Go talk to that lady. Okay.
Yes, and then that kind of goes with what you were saying, like how do they make you feel? So reflect
Mhm.
on the emotional aftertaste. Like once you leave them, do you like you were saying, do you feel energized? Do you feel secure? Do you feel confused,
Yeah.
or unsure? Like you're walking on eggshells with glitter on them. Like how do you feel afterwards? And this is a real thing because it's like even if you're like in La La Land during the moment afterwards, when you're away, you're so confused about like, wait, what are we doing? Where are we going? What does this mean? What does that mean? And you don't even feel comfortable with asking them or a safe place for you to open up. It's just like that could sometimes be the answer.
Yeah.
That could sometimes be the answer. Something to think about. And also we can take our time. We don't have to have urgency with getting to the next level or pressure. Let's just try to Work, don't be letting them say like, I'm just taking my time for 50 million years. I'm
Mhm.
just not ready. But there's no force in slow love and getting to know and see if this person is really the person for you and if you are really the person for them. And yeah, taking your time to figure that out without rushing in.
Yeah. And this one can even like I'm thinking of as you were saying that, like, be careful of that love bombing. Because for some of
Yeah.
us, it's talking about being better than like they're being better your ex. Sometimes you just get love bombed into a situation and then
Hmm.
like they fall off with all that stuff. And now we're
Hmm.
just keeping up that memory. Like, yeah, but Daryl didn't used to rub my feet and have dinner waiting for me. And when we first started dating, Tommy did that all the time. Okay. Because now he getting other behaviors that aren't that great. And we're holding on. But he used to do this. Like, okay. Be careful with that love bombing stuff. And it's okay for love to be slow. It doesn't always have to be slow, but there's nothing wrong with you guys taking your time to get to know each other. And
Hmm.
I would say, just always be on the lookout for somebody that seems like they're trying to get you to that end point real quick.
Yeah, yeah. And then it's just like, and then you rush there, then
Mhm.
they switch up because it wasn't really real and natural at the beginning.
Yeah.
That's definitely a thing too.
So Sierra got a prayer for the women that need better. We're going to give y'all she wolves a prayer for the women that need better. May you never again confuse peace for boredom. May you never again accept that he's trying as a relationship status. May your next love not just be better, may it be aligned, nourishing, and rooted. You don't owe anyone your softness just because they were less harsh. Let better than before be your starting point, not your destination. So, with that said, guys, that is our episode for today. We hope you guys enjoyed. Hopefully, hopefully y'all will have a new episode next week. Uh, we may be on the break. Me and Nique are going to be half naked in Toronto. Then I immediately have to go to Ashley's wedding immediately after. Like my first 2 weeks in August are horrible, are jam packed with clients, and then hopefully tequila. So we'll see. I'm trying. I'm trying so hard to get everybody to record earlier so I can just edit before it have it out. But if y'all don't, we'll still be on the Instagram. I'll still be posting. Y'all still have that. And don't worry, we will be back after August the 10th when Ashley will be married and Caravana will be over. We will be back to our regularly scheduled time. That might not be an issue, but we'll see. We'll see. So as always, be sure to like, share, leave a review with words, and we will have a new episode for you guys at some point in time. Bye.
Bye.